Before we start, it's going to seem like a weird question, but I want everyone to really put up their hand. How many people in the room are right-handed? Up high. How many people in the room are left-handed? That's about right. Maybe a little less lefties than what I'm used to, but if you were to poll like a general population, about 70% of people are right-handed and 30% are left-handed. All right. So why did I ask about that? So Rob's gonna come over here. We're gonna go into your traditional like half guard, knee shield, Z-guard, whatever you want to call it. It's because when you start drilling and sparring and fighting half guard, you invariably kind of end up on this side. I'm on my right side, and Rob's right arm is on me. And it's because quite often the guard pastor's chosen to pass my guard going in this direction. If I'm fighting for underhooks with a traditionally 30% of the time, this is gonna be my strong arm, but most often it's gonna be my weak arm, I'm at a disadvantage. I'm trying to dig for underhooks here. He's swimming for underhooks. If he wins, he flattens me. Yeah, this is a bad time. I'm not gonna do well flat on my back with an underhook. So over time, you're gonna find you're gonna struggle. Now, if you're left-handed, this doesn't really matter. Maybe it's kind of like a 50-50, but you have this arm here too. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna do two kind of entries in octopus. One feeds off of the traditional battle for an underhook, and the other one is a kind of attacking this lead arm, all right? So the top person here has like a job to do. We kind of both have a job. What we're gonna do is, bottom player, we're gonna do your traditional shoot for an underhook. How I like to do it is, I like to place my hand, the back of my arm in my hand, I kind of slap the inside of my knee and shin as I kick it through, and I come up and I get a nice underhook. I don't want everyone to get a really deep one because I want the top partner to do what some people do and start reaching through for like a darce, like a whizzer, like an overhook. This is what I want. And what I want you to do is play with how far you can let this person dig this overhook through. So what they're gonna do is, he can even reach over my head and start going for a darce. I take my underhook out and swim it up over. Okay, and you come back. And just see how much rope you can give the top person in digging through that whizzer, that overhook to darce, and see how easy it is for you to swim up through. As I'm swimming, so Rob's gonna dig for the darce, as I pivot my hand out, I'm leading with my elbow. Elbow to the sky, right to the armpit, and I'm coming up on my hand strong. Notice my arm is straight. I'm not bent, I'm not on my elbow, I'm up on my hand. Comes around, grabs the belt, and I'm tight. Come back. Just rep that out back and forth. So we're here, I'm shooting for an underhook, Rob starts shooting for the dart. What I want you to do is watch what I'm doing with my leg now. So as he's going for the darts and I pivot and go, I really glue my knee to his hip. I'm really gluing it here. His post now is completely compromised. Like the sweep is honest, my far hand, pushing, 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 pushing. And that's it. It's like a bit of like a dummy sweep where I'm just literally trapping his post and just kind of like pushing him over it. The person feels really stupid when you get them with this. Because they're like, oh, I'm the darce master, and you're like, are you? And you're just pushing them over, right? So it does, you will get caught in darces every now and then, like, I gave them too much. It is a bit of a game of cat and mouse, which I love when you're like training, you're rolling, you're sparring, competing. I love that little game. You're up, he starts going. I can't leave this out, because he can just pull his arm out, and he's got his post back. Puts his post back in. I'm really gluing my knee to his hip. And don't overthink this. My straight arm, I just keep walking it towards myself. Once I'm here, it's pretty much a simple back step out into like a nice kind of reverse Kessa side, all right? Can we go with our partners and do that now, please? Let's go. You know, any kind of beginner when they get shown something for the first time, as long as, for me, it was like a system, it was like, oh, I used to call it flaming bags of poop, like dog poop you put in front of people's doors. I liked having 3 of them. And I'd light 3 of them on fire, and whatever one you chose to do, you were going to open the door and step in poop. I don't care which one it was. And like your traditional half guard system was underhook, old school sweep, come back. Or it was like trap the arm, roll over, come back. He doesn't whizzer, I kind of shuck him off, come up and take his back. I love that. Like once I get that underhook, I have 3 things I can do. Well, I could open up the other side I got 3 more things I can do, right? So this time we're gonna maybe have Rob's back facing the...
Don't worry, this is just assist. I gotta get cut out. I have no
He's also conscious of it.
Everyone brings it up.
So we're here. What I want people to do this time is forget about the underhook and be more kind of like aggressive in attacking this lead arm, okay? So we're here, just like shooting for an underhook. I have my knee shield. I know you guys can't see it. It's a little weird. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shoot the knee shield through, pass the arm up over my head. Again, I'm leading with my elbow. It's really important I control the armpit. If I control the armpit, I'm gonna win the fight, all right? Seems weird, but it's true. I bite down, grab the belt, and I'm really pulling back. Invariably, Rob's gonna reach back. Now with the first, with the first one, I was attacking this post, all right? Because I didn't deal with this post with that whole Darce thing, it's still available there for him to kind of keep himself up. That's why I'm pulling on his belt, and I'm really pulling up on his gi. I'm pulling his gi off, trying to make him put his weight on his hands. I know invariably Rob's gonna start reaching back to hook my head. Everyone, they don't want me behind them. He will reach back, reach back, reach back. This is gonna happen. If you let this happen, this is a bad time. Like your arm's stuck, Rob's into pressure passing now. He's gonna make your life a very bad day. So, I know though, when Rob starts reaching back, pause. Rob, I can bet money that your right hand is on the mat. I can't even see it.
Oh yeah.
But if I say, can you reach back without your right hand on the mat, please? Go, reach. He can't. Like he cannot generate the force to reach back to hook my head without driving off that hand. And because he's driving off that hand, I don't even see it, but I know there's this chasm of space on the other side now. So again, this is kind of like a rope thing. I'm gonna ask him to reach around and hook my head. As he does that, I'm gonna drop, dive, punch, and get my underhook back. Because now I get back to what I wanted on the near side, an underhook. And I can play my usual traditional half guard sweeps, where I'm stepping over, I'm coming up, doing an old school sweep, right? I'm making him choose. Do I leave a lot of space on that lead arm? Because when we did the Darce, we're here, he did the Darce. Look at all this space. This is way too much space for someone like me. My head's bald. It's gonna slide like perfectly into there. It's really easy just to shoot my elbow up. He created all this space for me to get an underhook on this side. And then I also trapped his post at the same time. Because this time I led with this hand, and he's reaching back. He can't reach back I can just feel it without him posting, right? He's posting. I know there's all this space behind me. I just know there is. To get there without struggling, you're gonna have to create your own space, and you're gonna have to move your partner, your opponent, and yourself. It's not gonna be easy. What you're gonna do, your guys' partner slowly reach back to hook your head. You're going to collapse down onto your elbow for one. Do everything in reverse until you get your elbow in front. Pivot until you just get a little bit of your arm on the near side. And I want you to punch them. And reach for the sky. Underhook. And I just want you to end up here.
Kidney slap.
Yep. I want you to slap them. I want to hear a nice slap on the kidney, all right? Like a hard slap, okay? So, one more time. We're here. You're going to lead with your elbow all the way up on your head, or on your hand. Partner's gonna start reaching back. If I try to just reach under while I'm up on my post, I don't have any space. Collapse, dig my elbow, till I can just get my hand out on the other side. And I punch, and I reach as hard as I can for the exit sign. Slap. And just end up here, please, all right? Let's try that now. Let's go. Okay, so now that we've kind of understood openings on both sides, and in the process, attacked one of the 4 posts, that Darce grip or that whizzer kind of wrapping of the head, that's only one of the posts. The reason why I love the half octopus is you can easily attack the 3 posts and do a back take and just stand up if you really, really want to, right? We have time, we're gonna add in each one of those things. The reason why I like doing this in the gi is because when you get that belt grip and you're pulling as hard as you can, you have some assurance that the person is like trying to stop themselves from eating mat, okay? So when Rob's, and we'll be facing the camera, we only got 40. So we're here, we're up like this. Right now, I know I'm pulling back, I know that Rob's weight is on his hands, right? Because I'm making him put all his weight there. Invariably, his legs are just a little bit lighter. So it would be nice if I could just do that first one where I just pushed off my hand, but he's gonna adjust his post, right? It's silly for me just to push off my hand. I'm never gonna knock someone over doing that. What I should be able to do is attack this leg post. And how you do that is you use something called like a hollow hook. Charles refers to it as the orphan limb. So whenever anyone has their knee on the mat, the distance between their knee and their ankle is like ripe for the picking. And there's like a weakened post here. So what you do is, as you maintain this pulling backwards, you just step over. Put your outside leg inside and get your inside leg kind of out of the way. From here, I like to actually even like hook my instep up underneath my opponent's ankle and shin. And I lift their foot off the mat. Now my direction of pushing is this way. Not this way or this way, it is this way. So I keep pulling and I push over. It might be clunky, but it's gonna happen. The great part though is my legs comes out from under easily. It's not trapped. This slides out from under, and then this kind of reverse side. All right, let's try that again. You might have an opponent that tries to stop it. It's not gonna work because you're going in the proper direction, and you should be using that gi grip and really pulling on it. All right. So here, you're pulling. For a second there, both his knees came off the mat a little bit, because I know his weight's on his hands, right? So, step over, hook, and I'm lifting up his ankle. I'm lifting it up, and I'm pushing. It's uncomfortable. It's not only physical, but there's something mental about it. Like, my foot's up in the air, the point of my knees on the mat, I'm just gonna go over it, right? Does anyone see that again? Yeah, here, I really want to emphasize this pull. Every time I do it, I can almost feel his legs come up off the mat. Step, trade. This leg's not important now, it's just kind of laying here, right? I might use it to kind of push a little bit, but I really don't need this leg now, it's this one pulling up. Here, I keep it engaged until I don't need it anymore. And I scoop it out, and I just walk my hips back, all right? Let's get with our partners and try that one. The great thing about coming to these camps and kind of the curse is there's no like, until the end, maybe there's no like what if guy or what if girl. Yeah, but what if, or yeah, but this happened, or what if this and what if that. I actually welcome a lot of what ifs because it kind of, goes down going in rabbit holes. My gym is terrible, we have no what if guy or girl, so I never get to like go down those holes. But the reason that this position ends up being exposed to a bottom half guard player is the top player doesn't want you messing around with this lead hand. And the best way for them to stop you from messing around with it is just take it away. And what they usually do is they just pass it right over your head and drop on top of you and just start squishing you and like this. All right? It's not great. And a lot of what I'm going to show you today cannot work if you have a human body just crushing you. Because the one thing that Rob's doing, while he does this, is he now owns my armpit. The more he climbs up and starts driving into me, my armpit's compromised. I'm losing the fight. I need to find a way to start owning Rob's pit. I can't have him owning mine, all right? So how do I do that? Well, right now, my spine is curved. Slightly, right? I have a slight curve in my spine. I need to straighten my spine and keep my head up. I can't be lazy here with my head down. So I bring my head up and I straighten my spine hard. That allows me to get my elbow out. I can just chill here, or I can come up. And then it's just a simple bump over. And now I own the armpit. Immediately own the armpit. I'm pit to pit, and I know I'm doing the damage here. Getting the leg out and going to pass, right? So it's that spine straightening. A lot of people will get to that position without Rob being on me right now. You're here and you're just stuck. You're like, I'm never getting out. It's weird when the hinge of your hips and straightening your spine, you can get your elbow under you and come up rather easily. And the bump is just right there. So the move we just did is kind of like a half octopus scissor sweep because we're using our legs to kind of trap and go. This is like the half octopus like a bump sweep, right? So we're here. Before we have a chance to come up, he's gonna beat me to the punch and he's gonna drop his knee in. He's taking away his post. So that's good for me. What's bad for me is he's owning my pits and I'm crunched here. I'm not gonna knock him over. I'm just not gonna, especially if it's someone bigger than Rob, right? I need to straighten my spine with my head up. Elbow. I can bring my elbow up and I come up on my hand and elbow. Then I have the ability to take this far leg and drive off the mat and just rock him over on his hip. It's the most satisfying feeling in the world, us rocking on the hips. And I come up and I own the pit. I'm pit to pit here. And come out. All right? We try that one now. Let's go. 2 more minutes. I'm going to try to show 2 more things. And we've done a lot of just sweeps, which is kind of like my bread and butter. I often just play guard, sweep, get on top, and I submit from the top. I also like taking the back. So back takes are generally most common when the person gets really kind of hunker down. And what I find is a common reaction is they don't want me to get that hollow hook. They don't want me to step in, and they don't want to drop this knee in the pocket of my hip now. So they flare their knees out. Right? So this knee's flared out. If you can't see his other knee's flared out. If we can kind of turn, Rob, you can kind of 180, I guess. Keep going. So he's flared this knee out too. Again, what did we talk about at the beginning of class? Space and getting underhooks. I got all this space on this side to get this underhook. I was getting space on this side. He's created new space in the pocket of his hip, right? So I'm gonna exploit that and take his back, okay? So first thing I need to do is establish control of this leg. How do I do that? I get a butterfly hook. And whether you're flexible or not, you can do this. You just gotta give yourself enough space, all right? So if you have a hard time getting your foot in here, all you gotta do is plant your foot and just hip escape back a bit. I'm just scooting my bum back, bum to face, right? And then I can get my hook. And I scoot back in. I wanna reconnect my butterfly hook to his leg, okay? Then on this side, it's a pretty simple blocking of the knee with my hand. I'm just blocking it. Now, the butterfly hook on this leg will become my back take hook on this leg when it's all said and done, all right? And I'll try to do it slowly so you can see how this hook transforms into a back take hook on this side. So what you're gonna do is, the leg that's between, I need to get it out. So I'm gonna block the knee and I'm gonna scoop my knee out. Simple hip switch, and that butterfly hook now just curls in and is the hook on this leg. Gonna grab the gi and pull, just fall to my side and get his back, right? If you wanna be proactive, you can be pulling on his gi the entire time. A lot of people won't wanna give you their back, they'll relegate to just falling over on their side. They're like, you can sweep me, you're not taking my back, right? So we'll do it from this angle here. He's gonna flare his knees out, so if you need a cue, partner on top, feet together, knees out. Okay? That's how you're gonna be posture-wise. You have a hard time getting your hook, you're gonna scoot your bum back, get your hook in, scoot your bum back towards the hips. Okay? From here, block the knee to just get your knee out. I'm not getting my whole leg out, I just wanna get the top of my knee out. Once I have that, it's a simple hip switch, hook, grab, take the back. Not a lot of movement. I'm not doing a lot of explosive movements. Yes, question in the back.
I see it again.
One more time for Rich. Up. Partner's gonna flare their knees, feet together. Hips back, hook in, hips in. It's a common theme tonight, hips to hips, right? I'm gonna block the knee, get my knee out. It might take a little struggle to get that knee out. I'm on my right hip, switch to my left hip. Grab the jacket where I can get it, pull him into me, get the second hook. You're gonna be in a great back-taking position. Let's try that, please. I didn't include this in the original concept of what I was teaching, but I took Rob's class on just standing up, and I wanted to show you one more thing before we take the class picture. standing up is always an option, right? So we can face kind of this way. If you get into this position, you're with someone who's big and strong, and you feel them just trying to like back out of this and try to, like even if he tries to put his butt on his heels and get his head out. Like this might end up being like a bad spot. I fear if I start coming back, he's gonna hook my head and put me in a bad spot, right? So if we're here and you feel like your opponent's trying to back away, just take the technical stand up and stand up and get out. Now I'm on top, right? Doesn't have to, you don't have to marry yourself to being on the bottom, sweeps, back takes. Stand up, all right? So we don't have time to do that. I just wanted to show you that it's not just one thing you can do. There's a multitude of things you can do. So we're gonna take a class picture. Before we do it, I wanna kind of brief everyone on my idea. People are doing creative class pictures. Doing a normal class picture, once it's taken, I want everyone to do a 180 and face the wall. Because we were doing everything backwards today, I want everyone to be backwards for the picture, all right?
I was gonna do
Let's go.